I just so you know, I put zero effort into this podcast episode.
How is it any different from any other fucking episode
I don't
you've done
remember
in
the
the
last
last
time
year?
you put effort.
Usually it's around 5%.
Yeah.
Remember that seatbelt one?
That was a fucking good episode. You can
It
shut
was a
the
good
fuck
episode
up.
because of John and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were
Well, fine.
hilarious.
I don't know if this is a good time to tell you guys or not, but fuck you both.
That's perfect time.
Okay.
I feel like it's always a good time to say that to anybody.
History Defeats Itself is a comedy podcast. Kevin, John, and Greg are not experts, historians, or even all that smart.
Hello and welcome to History Defeats Itself. My name is Kevin Rosenquist.
Hi,
Thank
Kevin.
you for joining us. We are a comedy podcast that wonders why we as people never learn from our history. I am joined by two people, two humans, two men, one of which is not a grandpa. The other one is very much a grandpa. John Banks, Greg Mitchell, how you guys doing?
Well, let me just first say, I am not a granddad or a grandpa or a pop or a puppy or a meemaw.
So right before we hit record, dear listeners, Kevin asked for permission if it was okay to make fun of me being a grandfather. And I didn't realize it was going to start like literally from the first opening sentence. So
Can
yeah,
I just
How
have
did
at
you
it.
not realize that?
Have at it. Because I can't really put things together anymore because I'm old.
Yeah, I mean, in your defense, it's way past your bedtime. That's all I got.
I literally just looked at the clock to see if you were right.
Well, I mean, I think the greatest thing to be being a grandparent is you and the baby can all get up to pee at the same time. So, over and over again.
Or I think what you mean to say is neither one of us has to get up to pee.
All seriousness, though, all joking aside, I should say, Greg, congratulations, buddy.
Yeah.
We're very happy for you.
No.
Thank you. It's a surreal experience. I don't know if you know this or not, but I've never been a grandfather before. And I am one now.
Well,
So that's weird.
I don't know if
And
you know this or
your
not.
daughter is doing well, which is the most important thing, and the baby's doing okay, and that's all.
Everyone's fantastic.
Everyone's doing well. So
Yes. Yep.
And just
I
so you
get-
know, I have always referred to you when I speak about you, Greg, as my grandpa.
you
Well,
send him a card on Grandfather's
Yeah,
Day,
it may be new to
Grandparents'
you.
Day, or whatever it is.
But it's not
wait,
new
there's
to me.
Grandparents' Day?
There's a Grandparents' Day.
There's
Yeah, you got
anything.
that to
I-
look forward to.
I have been stapling $5 to greeting cards and sending them to John ever since I met him. Too. Don't
For
spend it all
Grandfather's
on
Day? For Grandparents'
Yeah.
Day? What
Yeah.
day are you
Don't.
sending that on? Are you sending him that for Easter
Kevin-
or?
Kevin.
Yeah.
You don't understand this?
I'm not following.
Like what I said didn't make sense.
No.
Sometimes, like every year, like he gives me just some random candy that he's got in his pocket, and he
Some
thinks,
hard candy.
but he
Sometimes
thinks-
it's a button.
most of the time it's just
Sometimes-
Halls. It's just Halls.
Sometimes it's a World War II documentary.
Yeah, sometimes it's a Werther's. Sometimes it's just some rock that he found recently on one of his walks.
Hey man, don't start criticizing rocks. I'm really getting into those.
Do you know how many different kinds of rocks there are?
There's igneous. There's sedimentary. Wait, that's
You're
it.
doing way better than I could have done.
There's also what are the lava ones?
Do you know the things they're doing with soapstone?
Eroding, man. They're constantly
All right.
eroding. You can't stop it.
Do you know why Florida's fallen into the ocean? Limestone.
Is that why?
Is it-
I thought it was swamps.
Is it gonna fall into the ocean?
I hope so.
I mean,
I mean, they
whoa.
said California will too, right?
Yeah. Well, but California, that's actually a misconception because that's about earthquakes. But the way earthquakes work, we wouldn't fall into the ocean.
Look, I'm basing this all on a Tool song I heard.
I like how John always gets professorial. Like, actually, Kevin, if you'll notice, by this drawing I made.
Oh my God!
the
the tool
cleavage-
Here, let me
sound-
wheel in my whiteboard.
John, you don't fucking know. You
I do know because
you
I'm
read a book
fucking-
once.
Look, we established this before we started recording. I'm the smart one.
Hmm.
No, we said
No, we only
Kevin's the
established that I
stupid
was
one.
the dumbest one.
Well, I mean, but Greg.
Which I still call bullshit on.
Well, what was your problem? You didn't know what your balls were for. That's a problem.
true.
That makes you stupid.
Yeah.
Kevin thought
I just didn't
that-
know you couldn't have any sort of an orgasm without your balls.
Yeah. And a finger in your butt.
Kevin thought they were just the tool to let you know when you can't wear skinny jeans anymore.
Which, by the way, that ship sailed a while ago.
Oh yeah.
All right. Follow us on social media. We're posting all sorts of places, so check us out. We did check out Threads. We're doing the thread thing. Well, I'm doing the thread thing. These guys don't do shit. But I was posting some stuff on
Just
Threads.
like the podcast.
So find us there. I don't really know. I mean, like it just is. It's Twitter Lite, I guess.
I don't understand it at all.
I mean, it's just Twitter. It's just Twitter. I never got into Twitter, so I don't really know much about it. I know, Greg, you got into Twitter a little bit more. Is it a lot different?
Well, I've only been on Threads for one day, so I have to say no.
My understanding of it is this. So Elon and what's his name?
Zuck.
Elon and Zuck were going to get into a cage fight.
Mm-hmm.
But instead,
and then
they
Elon's
decided
mom
to-
stepped in. So then Zucky was just like, no, man, we're going to fight it out. But we're going to do it with our billion-dollar social media platforms.
By the way, I did tag Mark Zuckerberg in a Threads post saying that the three of us would love to be the ringside commentators for that fight.
I saw that. So let's hope he chimes in. He responds.
That would be awesome.
Because I'm sure he never gets tagged in anything.
I think
It's
we'd be
kinda-
good at that, though.
It's kind of like the pretty girl never gets asked out because everyone assumes that she's got plenty of suitors.
Mm-hmm.
My money,
Did
my
you just
money's
compare
definitely
Mark
going
Zuckerberg to a
on
pretty girl?
Mark Zuckerberg. That's my money's going on. I'm betting everything on Zuck.
I did.
Over Elon, or
Yes.
yeah,
I
would
would
agree
actually
with that.
probably put Zuck against me, and I would bet on Zuck.
Yeah, I would too.
Is that what he likes to go by Zuck?
No. I'm saying I'm just trying to throw it out there. See what happens.
You just
I think his Threads
see
name
what
is
sticks.
Zuck.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Zuck, let us know. Let us know if we can get in on this.
Zuki.
Zuck, buddy. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the barbecue we're gonna have together.
Fried zucchinis.
Anyway, that's all I got. So the
Ranch.
it's Grandpa's turn to lead the episode. So Gramps,
Hello.
hit us. With
Hello, guys.
you do that. You do that really well already.
Can you guys hear me out there? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, guys.
Greg, you got to talk into the microphone, Greg.
I can't understand what this guy with white skin and bangs is saying. Hey guys. So
Hey.
we're doing things a little different today. We're changing
Shit.
History Defeats Itself. It's still going to be History Defeats Itself, of course. But today we're turning it into a true crime podcast. Kind of a whodunit, but I'm going to tell you exactly who it is at the beginning, so it's not a whodunit at all.
I would love to put in some really creepy music, but this is all I have.
I mean, I hate going to baseball games.
I mean, that does sound very true crime-ish.
It does. Nothing says murder like an organ.
Maybe if you just listen to the first half of that. Play that again. See, it could be really creepy until it gets to the,
No, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
So, yeah.
do you really
Oh.
hate going to baseball games?
Well, it depends how drunk I am.
You said
You
you were
gotta
going to be drunk for this. Are you drunk yet?
You got to remember when I was a little
Wait,
kid.
am I the
you
only
could-
one drinking?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can't drink today because I have to prepare my granddaughter's room and I have to do some painting and it's not supposed to be abstract. So I'm going to
You're
try.
not going to do a Jackson Pollock type thing?
I am not. I mean, I probably will just because I'm old, my hand shakes, but
That's true.
not by design.
Okay, well then,
Can I
carry
get
on.
going with this fucking thing so we can end the show?
Yes.
Like forever or just this episode?
True crime. What are you voting for?
Wait, what?
Which one do you want?
True crime or what? What's the other option?
Yeah, what's the other option?
No, ending the show forever.
Oh. I don't want to end the show forever.
You're not the one that said it. John was.
Oh, well, I didn't
And
know.
for some reason, Mr. Poopers won't answer. But it's okay.
I don't want to end it either. I was asking you. I was just getting clarity. That's all. Like, God, what When did you become so? Oh, you're old now. That's why you're.
Yeah,
sensitive.
he's old.
Yeah, I'm crotchety.
He's old. The kid's not even in his house yet, and he's still all pissy.
I'm super pissy. Oh my god. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. Well, we are going to go back in
Wait,
history.
do you have
Oh,
bathroom
fuck.
slippers and living room slippers now?
Jesus, you should see my feet. I've got like,
Oh,
they
that
swelling?
is awful.
I've got those toenails that you can't clip. You got to go to a special place to get them clipped for you,
Nice.
called the Home Depot.
I won't need you
And
to.
it's less clipped than grinded down with a power tool.
Oh,
gonna need
grinder.
you to-
That's a good idea. They were just using those garden shears.
You should cut this panel 4 times for me and get these toenails.
I need,
The guy's
I need
like,
10,
I
I need
was
10 foot of chain cut, and I also need this big toe. All right.
Guy's like, I'm with you until you got to the toe part. I
He's like,
mean,
I don't think we can do that here.
our insurance isn't going to cover it, but go ahead.
I'm going to have to ask my boss about that.
Meanwhile, I'm making sparks on the concrete with my toenail.
Don't worry,
Because
don't worry
I'm
about
wearing
it, kid. I
flip-flops.
got it.
God, that's so gross.
Really gross.
Okay, let's get started with the episode for
please.
Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
no, I don't want to talk about your toes any longer.
We're going to journey back in history, guys. We're going to be discussing the very first American serial killer.
Oh God, Kevin already did this.
Did I?
No, I
No.
just like doing that to Greg.
It still sent a shiver down my spine.
It's like, oh shit!
My memory's terrible.
What is this? The 114th episode? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no way.
that
To,
might happen.
yeah, there's no way to remember all this shit.
John and I kept a database for a while, but it hasn't
Yeah.
been updated in a while.
It has. It has.
Yeah, I
not.
think that was last time it was updated. It was like 60 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so
the first
Trump
serial
president.
killer. All
The
right, and
first serial-
it wasn't the Chicago guy.
it was a Chicago guy.
The White Devil or whatever.
Oh yeah, Devil in the White City. H.H. Holmes.
This is so awesome because now we don't have to do the episode.
It is H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh no, this is interesting. I read Devil in the White City. It was great.
Kevin, did you want to go ahead and take the reins over?
So the year was I'm just kidding. Go ahead. No, do it.
So,
Do it.
so yeah,
1908,
this,
right?
this
Or something like
episode is about H.H. Holmes. He kind of changed his name. This guy, by the way, he was a really interesting looking dude. He's got the same exact mustache that Post Malone has. Have you ever seen that before? Where it looks like two of those animals that are kissing each other. What are those capybaras?
Oh,
What are those sweet mustaches?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the photos of him show him wearing a bowler hat, and everyone back then wore a suit. So, and he was kind of like he was a rugged, good looking guy.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was like considered pretty handsome for the time, right?
Yes, he
Not
was.
sure it would play today, like compared to guys like us, but
No, we would definitely. I bet you he didn't like have any tattoos or
he
beards
didn't have any tattoos or long beards
or pasty white skin. Oh no,
or
he did
pasty
have
white
pasty white
skin or
skin.
bangs.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have the murder thing that we
No
can't
one-
beat that, but
No one knows what was lurking underneath that bowler. Could have been bangs.
could have been.
They may have cut his hair right around the bowler.
Maybe the bowler was a hair helmet. Like you just
Maybe that's
you don't
what
know.
set him off on his killing sprees.
That's right. He was like, I'm tired of losing my hair.
I mean,
As a matter of
Greg.
fact, when he was a child, he was teased and picked on. So not great. So this article that I plagiarized from Smithsonian Magazine.
This book that I plagiarized.
well, instead
The Devil in
of
the
the
White
word,
City.
instead of plagiarize, could we just use copy and paste? Sounds better.
So basically, I'm gonna just put my own spin on this. I actually read a shit ton of articles about this guy, and
It's a fascinating story.
it's pretty fucking fascinating. So 4 days, I know I'm kind of starting towards the end at his execution, but it's kind of a Quentin Tarantino thing where you got to go out of order a little bit,
Mhm.
timeline wise. Keep the audience guessing.
Wait, is somebody going to get fucked in the ass by a gimp? Because
Jesus, boy, all the things that happened in that movie, and that's the first thing you think of.
well, yeah,
It's pretty memorable.
yeah.
So Kevin agrees.
I mean, there's lots of great scenes, but that one.
Bruce
really...
Willis is great in that movie. Sad about Bruce Willis. He's
Yeah,
not
it is
doing
sad.
so good.
Yeah, that is sad about
It's
Bruce Willis.
it is sad about him,
Yeah.
but he's doing better than H.H. Holmes' victims.
Well, and also better than H.H. Holmes.
Well, yeah, he's dead too.
Yeah.
4 days before H.H. Holmes' execution, which, he's dead,
Well, spoiler alert.
is May 7th, 1896. The Chicago Chronicle published a lengthy diatribe condemning the multi-murderer, bigamist, seducer. Do you guys want to be known as a seducer in your obituary? It's kind of cool, but not really.
I've been working on my obituary, and I might add it.
Yeah, you could.
So far in mine, I just have he. That's all I have. Yeah.
It's important to start with a pronoun.
Wait to see what happens.
Resurrection.
Really? What are you? Nothing's happened worthwhile yet, huh?
Nope.
Maybe let someone else write it.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe not. Have
Don't let us do
ChatGPT write it. It might be better.
He was a disappointment to everyone who knew him.
He was a disappointment to many.
Friends, family, foes.
So, do you guys want to hear more descriptions, more
Yes.
adverbs, adjectives about this guy, H.H.
Yes.
Holmes from the Chicago Chronicle? So, he was a multi-murderer, a bigamist, a seducer, a resurrectionist. That's
What is that?
bad.
What is a
It's someone
resurrection?
that resurrects. It's like Jesus.
Is
No.
is he trying to resurrect the dead? Other
Yeah.
people? Yeah.
Yeah. Playing with bodies and shit. I
Does he
think.
do that with his penis?
I might be wrong. I don't know if he used his penis for that.
Well, he was pretending to be a medical professional.
He was pretending to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Forger, thief, and general swindler.
Hmm.
As a man without.
Another thing I'm going to add to my obituary.
Yeah, you are a general swindler.
And
I'm
I'm
a
general
specific.
swindler.
I'm more of a specific swindler.
You
And
are.
so-
You
and
are. I'm very just equal
You're broad.
opportunity with my swindling.
Your swindling's broad.
I just want to say though, like pretending to be a doctor in 1896 is very different than pretending to be like. What did you need to know back then?
All the medicine was cocaine.
Every doctor was pretending to be a doctor.
Right.
Like you needed a bone saw and a scalpel, right? With some like I don't know, yeah, with some cocaine and
And you probably didn't even need the bone saw.
no, just
It
break
was
it
good
off.
to lay out though, just to show that you were a doctor,
Right.
And like little vials of things that just weren't anything really.
I just have a headache.
Like monkey brains.
I just have a headache, just in case we're gonna lay this bone saw here.
And a mountain of cocaine.
And here's a mountain of cocaine.
Actually, I want you to snort this bone dust that I just created. And tell me if you get high or not. Okay, so it continues on that he was a man without parallel in the annals of crime. That's not good.
Ooh.
It's not a good thing. Again, he was the first serial killer, so good for him for all these precedents. It's okay because all of his victims are dead too, so it's not too soon.
Hey, it's always good to be a pioneer. I don't care what it is,
Yeah.
but it's good to be a pioneer.
What about butt stuff?
Someone has had the pioneer butt
Yeah.
stuff.
I feel like everything's been done. I don't know how many.
Butt or just in general?
Just in the butt? No. Well, yeah. What? I don't know. There's probably. I mean,
Well, that particular that the Greeks, right? So it wasn't just a person; it was the Greeks. Right? That's like they did the Parthenon. They did all these.
I didn't
amazing
expect
things.
him to land on the Greeks when he was
I
fumbling
wasn't
around with
heading
words.
there either.
They have Cyprus.
The Greeks.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. was
Neither
the
of us
best
were like,
part.
what?
Yeah, it wasn't surprising. You landed on the Greeks. Good job, John. Okay. So
Sorry.
Holmes claimed to have killed at least 27 people. Some reports show as many as 200, most of whom he lured into a purpose-built murder castle, replete with secret passageways, trapdoors, soundproof torture rooms. According to the crime museum, an intricate system of chutes and elevators enabled Holmes to transport his victims' bodies to the Chicago building's basement, which was purportedly equipped with a dissecting table, stretching rack, and crematorium.
So a lot of people don't know this, but the Hasbro game
Gross.
Shoots and Ladders is based on this murder castle.
That
It
makes a lot
is.
more sense.
Yeah. So
That was a violent game.
yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
used to be it was shoots and murder, but then Yeah.
Shoots and murders.
Didn't sell. So
Yeah. And then it was related to Operation.
It sounds like Operation was going on in that basement.
yeah.
Man, could you imagine? I mean, take a minute to think about being on a dissecting. Well, I guess if you're already dead, it doesn't really matter. But if you're in the process of dying and then you're brought down through the chutes and onto the dissecting table or stretching rack.
Yeah,
Well,
stretching rack doesn't
rack.
sound
That's got to
great.
be used while you're alive still,
Yeah.
right? Or else, what's the point?
Yeah. Agreed.
Why? What do you mean? Why would it? You
Why
mean
would you have a
because
stretching rack if you weren't already dead? Like,
Right, because you want to torture them. You want the
dead.
you're not going
Yeah.
to suffer if you're dead.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. You're not just trying to see what happens. You're
So-
trying to see. Yeah.
Anyone listen, if you're going to kill me, like if you're a serial killer, you listen and you're just like, I want to kill those 3 guys. Kill me quick. Do whatever you want with my
Yeah.
body after.
Nope.
Yeah, you can
No,
do
I-
whatever you want. You
I
can do whatever you
respectfully
want to my
disagree.
body.
What the way I want to be killed is I want to be held in someone's arms and rocked to sleep and then gently put down somewhere.
So basically, you want to go down like an elderly dog.
I want to go down. Yeah, I want to be lied to. I want to be like, hey,
Don't worry, boy. We're
back to the
going.
prairie.
We're
It's
going
okay.
out for ice cream.
just go right out to the sun. Just keep walking. You'll be fine.
We're just gonna take a drive, boy. We're just gonna take a drive.
Funny.
Sad.
I don't find that funny. Talking about murdering people. Like, oh, don't joke about dogs dying.
Yeah, that is how it works, isn't it? It's like everyone's like, oh, in movies,
Yeah.
people just get just
Yeah.
slayed everywhere, and then a dog dies, and the whole audience is like, oh, poor dog.
Well,
You know
because
what?
all those people getting murdered were actors. That dog had no choice.
You know what's weird about movies like that is like, if you're watching like The Bourne Identity or Rambo or whatever the fuck is going on, where the protagonist is constantly like escaping death and there's death at every fucking turn and bullets and fucking, I'm thinking like these other people that get killed, they had their own story too.
Yeah, they did.
Why are we just following this guy around? It's like escaping out. Like, come on.
They had families and friends.
Families and they
hopes
were
and
just at
dreams.
craft services.
Well, that's good. Have you guys seen the show The Boys on Amazon?
Oh,
Yes. Uh-huh.
So it's good,
show.
but that's kind of the concept of that, which is sort of like, like you watch a superhero movie and like 3/4 of a city is destroyed. There's just so many dead people, and then at the end they're like, "Oh, we did good. Huh? Yeah, we stopped the bad guy. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay!"
And again, it's a TV show.
And again, it's a TV show.
It wasn't real life.
Oh,
So
right.
let's see.
I was
And
like,
the
I
killers-
wasn't following you for a minute. I was like, yeah, everybody knows it's a TV show. What are you? But also, this happened 100 and like,
This happened so
3
long
years
ago,
ago.
it is not real anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a statute of limitations on real, Greg.
Yeah. Well, everybody that would have lived out their natural lives is long gone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're getting to a point where the statute of
totally
limitations on
fine.
your life is
Yeah.
kind of,
so it's totally fine that they went on one of those racks. No biggie. They would have been dead anyway.
A stretching rack that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Imagine like the sound of everything popping, like
Ah,
ligaments and bones, and
well,
Don't like that.
at first, you're probably like, oh, that feels really good. Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh
Like
my
the first
God.
crank.
yeah, open that
first
spine
couple
up.
cranks.
Yeah.
You're like,
Then
I
you're like-
thought you were a murderer. Turns out you're just a chiropractor. That's wonderful. Thank you, HH.
Yeah.
Well, I think it goes the other way. I thought you were a chiropractor.
Then it goes south. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
HH chiropractic.
We're
Oh my
real
God.
because we have a bone saw.
We do. You
I
should
know you don't know what chiropractic is, but I'm going to show you.
All right, guys, this gets important because in the killer's own words, the guy says, I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer no more than a poet can help the inspiration to sing. Now, I always thought poets wrote poetry
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
and singers sang, but that's what he said.
Well, you know what? He was a murderer. Mind wasn't all there.
That's a good point.
Tomato murderer. So,
I can't help the fact that I'm a murderer any more than Kevin can help the fact that he has blonde hair.
it's true.
More
Right.
than a century after his death, Holmes, widely
Not
considered
someone
the
with
United
blonde hair.
States' first known serial killer, continues to loom large in the imagination. Eric Larson's narrative nonfiction bestseller, Kevin. The
Moby Dick.
God, that's a good callback. That's not what it's called. It's called The Devil in the White City.
I have it. It's right up there.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's really good. You should read it. Should
why
have
don't
probably
you-
read it before this episode, but
I prefer if you read it to me.
So wait, I
Oh, I can do
have a
that.
question. So I get so much shit every time I say I read a book. Like Kevin just has said it like over and over. I read a book.
because I read so few books,
Oh,
this is amazing to me. Like
Okay.
this is the first time I've ever been able to say on this podcast, I read that. And I actually did.
that's
I
true.
actually read it.
That's
We
true.
get it, Kevin.
It took me 2.5 years, but I read it. Damn it.
Have you read Everybody Poops?
No, I'm still trying to get through that one.
It's a short read. You can do it while
What
you
happens at the end? Does everybody poop, or do they find someone who
Everybody.
doesn't poop?
Nope. Everybody
Damn
poops.
I was
Aren't
convinced.
there people without buttholes?
No, you would
I
die.
think- Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I think there could be.
I mean, they'd have to put in one.
I'd have to probably put in a butthole. Yeah. Sir, your son was born without a butthole, but don't worry, we put one in. We just made a little cut, and he's got a butthole now.
We found a 13/16 drill bit,
Oh Jesus!
and we sent him over to H.H. Holmes' house. Good news is
He's
he got a
moved on to
butthole.
chiropractic, so
The good news is he got the butthole. Somehow he unfortunately passed away.
bad news is him and the rest of the family are all dead.
Yeah, they are dead. All right,
Congratulations.
guys.
on
So
your
The Devil in
newborn
the White City, which I'll now refer to as Kevin's book, written by Eric Larson,
the one book Kevin's ever read.
introduced him to many Americans in 2003. And there's still a planned adaptation of the book into a movie spearheaded by Leonardo DiCaprio
I heard about that.
and Martin Scorsese.
I thought it was interesting that Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to play H.H. Holmes, and H.H. Holmes is like 20-something. I mean, Leo, you look young, but
And you bang 20-something
Well, that's,
year
yeah,
olds.
he thinks he's 20 because he sleeps with 20-year-olds.
didn't he up it to like 25 now?
Probably. I don't know.
I feel like that guy isn't as good looking as most people think he is.
Well, he's like kind of big, like because I think he drinks a lot, right? So his face is he's got that
Now we're
alcohol
making
head.
a lot of accusations you can't back up.
Here's the thing: prove me wrong, Leo. Come on the podcast and prove me wrong.
Of the three of us, who wouldn't fuck him?
Oh well, I mean, are we talking about fucking? Or are we talking about he's losing? He definitely looked better when he was in his 20s.
I don't want.
So did you.
I don't necessarily want to fuck him.
How dare you, Kevin? I am a
John.
Oh, that's true. I did,
You didn't have
Oh.
the homeless beard.
but my head's about the same size. I don't have the alcohol head. He's got like that.
Wait, the head's about the same size as your beard?
no, I'm
I'm
saying my head
confused.
hasn't really grown much. I wear the same size hat. So, and I also, oddly enough, I use the same beard basket that I used when I was 20.
What's a beard basket?
I don't know. It's a word I made up. It's for your
No,
imagination.
I saw something today while I was scrolling through the internet, and there's apparently like a beard catcher you could put on your mirror while you shave, and it just kind of you attach it to the mirror and it attaches to below your neck,
That's
and you
genius.
just shave away and everything lands in there instead of getting it all over your sink. You know how tedious that can be.
I just shave in the shower.
You do?
I just don't shave
Well, obviously.
Do you use a mirror?
in the shower.
Yeah, I have a mirror in the shower.
You have a mirror in the shower, and it's an anti-fog mirror.
You have to put it under. Why are we talking about this? This is so boring.
Is it an anti-Semitic?
You pour it under the hot water for a little bit, then you hang it up, and then you fucking shave. Like I don't like. What is this? Is this new to you? Have you never known anybody who shaves in the shower?
Hey,
You know what the black
guy who
butthole
doesn't-
people.
the guy who doesn't know that his balls are for ejaculating, he doesn't get to judge
I
anybody.
know they're for ejaculating. I was saying I thought because you can have an listen. You can have an orgasm through your prostate,
Can you?
like an orgasm.
How do
thing.
you know?
It was in a movie once.
Uh-huh.
Was it
called-
your
called-
movie?
Called Kevin and Sheena at home.
It was called. It's on
Kevin gets pegged.
VHS. Kevin gets pegged. No, I have heard that you can't. Isn't it called like milking the prostate or whatever?
Mhm, mhm.
It was in a fucking movie. Somebody write in and tell me what stupid ass movie I was watching.
I have nipples,
Road
Greg.
trip.
Does that mean you can milk me?
Road trip.
Great reference. Not the movie I was talking about.
It was a road trip. That was the movie.
Road trip?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only one
Is
paragraph.
that was that
in
not
this,
real?
man.
Was that
Yeah,
wrong?
I thought this was
No,
going to be a
that's
short
okay.
episode.
That's a real
So
thing.
what the fuck? Why is it? So somewhere.
But you still need your balls in there to. They work together.
I dare you to Google it.
I'm terrified to do that.
Can I come without testes? You probably can.
No,
I
you
mean,
can't.
you can do
It's just-
anything these days.
It's different. Well, you definitely.
You get
yeah.
space age polymers and ball bearings. You could do anything you want.
That's true.
I saw Kevin's monitor reflection, the light reflection off his pale, pasty white skin.
This is gonna
So I
give
know
up some
he's
weird
looking it
shit.
up.
Can a man orgasm without balls? If the prostate or both testicles have been removed, a man can still have an orgasm, but he won't ejaculate. Yeah.
Well, they won't ejaculate.
But I said orgasm. I didn't say ejaculate.
But we all
What's-
know you meant ejaculate.
No, that's not what I meant.
What's more important,
You know what? I just want to say
ejaculating
I'm
or
fucking
orgasm?
right. So one of you two now, you guys are back to dumbest person on this podcast. Because
I think John should take it just because
I mean, it's
he's the one
probably
that
true. If
he's
we
the
all
one
did
that
an
said
IQ
so
test.
much stuff to Kevin that Kevin fucking Googled it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I will wear that crown.
I'm pretty stupid
that I
too.
made
though.
myself out of macaroni.
listen. It's a really even race, okay? Like it changes by the day.
Okay.
Kevin?
Hey, is it
Kevin.
cool if we
I'm sorry.
move on?
Sure.
I've been waiting for you to fucking talk, man.
You guys keep interrupting with your ejaculate.
That, out of context, that's weird.
I think in context, it's weird.
Okay, so people think he killed up to 200 people.
That's insanity.
They don't know for sure, but he
Only
did
claimed 27. Is that what you said?
They did confirm he claimed 27, but then others are saying he killed up to 200, but he was actually convicted. Well, I think he was only convicted of killing one, but they could only confirm 9 victims. By the time they prosecuted him for a single murder, he was already executed. So I don't know if they kept on prosecuting or they figured, hey, we got our man.
Well, that was before the day of probably
Double
wanting
jeopardy.
to. Well, no, no.
I
was
just
going
want
to
to say double jeopardy.
yeah, no. That's always a good thing to say. No, I was talking about now they want closure for families and stuff like that. So they want to make sure that they get the conviction so that the families can have the closure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy, Greg?
No,
Me, I'm not looking at you. I'm going to read the next sentence.
Oh,
But
read the next
I'm
sentence.
glad that my reading face makes you feel insecure.
I'm sorry for contributing. Go on.
I appreciate it. Fuck.
Well, so here's the thing, right? When they say
I think you guys have over contributed. We're not going to finish this episode until fucking 8 o'clock.
like, why would you lie? Like if you know you're already caught, why would you lie about the number of people you killed?
Because you're crazy.
Well, right, but the one thing you're crazy about is killing people. So wouldn't you be like, oh, I killed 27, and that would be the number?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or would he inflate it to make it look like it was more?
I think he was.
I don't think
if
he
we-
would go under though.
If we go back to his description at the very beginning, which was not that long ago, he was. Don't forget, he was a seducer, a forger, a thief, and a general swindler.
Yeah.
So-
He was a general swindler. I remember that part.
He could have been swindling with people about. He lied. He seduced people and he lied to them about a bunch of shit. And so
I don't know.
I
I
lied
feel
about
like
everything.
so. Here's the thing, right? Like I just feel like if I got like, in other words, if I knew I'm gonna die, right? Like if I know like I'm gonna die for whatever.
hey,
crime
John, bad news. You're gonna die.
Yes.
Greg,
but
the
not
fuck, man.
but not because I murdered anyone. I'm not gonna die by the death.
We
penalty.
don't know that.
Well, true.
I can't say you know that either, John.
I mean, I am a blackout drunk, so I don't know. But
That likes to sleep with an axe and a machine gun.
all I know is that year I drove a tractor. I came home a lot of nights with blood on it. So
And my body was intact.
what?
Jesus.
Yeah, but it seems like you would tell the truth, right?
Did you say the year you drove a tractor?
Yeah, I'm saying that year that I drove a tractor instead of driving a car to places was the implication.
Was that a real thing?
No, No,
just
neither
kidding.
was me being a blackout drunk. So.
Here's the thing though.
For the record.
Here. I went with someone like him though. Would he go under?
I don't think
I don't
so.
feel like he'd go under.
No, I don't think
you know
so.
what I mean? Like he would
right.
either
go over.
He would either go over or he would be exact as to the best of his abilities.
Yeah.
So to say 200, does that fit his character? You know,
plus
his opportunity. And
plus
as I read on, you'll find out that he had the ability to have killed that many people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a hotel during the World's Fair.
He did.
I mean, that's like insane. But I'm just saying from a psychological perspective, Greg, here's our resident psychologist. Like if someone is that fucked up in the head and that, like, you know, deceptive, and you get the feeling with someone like that they would want the accolades, so to speak, in a fucked up sort of way, you know?
Yeah.
Like if he killed 200, he'd be like, no, man, I fucking killed 200 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like John said, especially if you know you're not getting away with it.
Right. If one gets you the death penalty, then who cares after that?
They can't
cares?
hang you more than once.
They can, but it's sort of futile at that point.
It doesn't have an effect. It's just like
the crowd gets less, you know.
instead of doing this, you're just
So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the hotel was termed Murder Castle.
Ooh.
The first 2 floors were actually kind of functioning shops and long-term rentals. So there were people just chilling, he leased them out, kind of like storefront stuff. And he added the 3rd floor, which appeared to be the not the good one. In 1892, he told people it was going to be a hotel space, but it was never finished or furnished or open to the public. The whole idea was just a vehicle to swindle suppliers and investors and insurers and murder things.
So a lot of people don't know that White Castle was originally Murder Castle because of what it does to your butthole, and then they changed the name to White Castle. Sounds much.
It doesn't do
more
great things to your butthole.
Is that the only castle you can come up with? Like you couldn't come up with Magic Castle or
well, because I don't think a lot of people
Magic
get
Castle.
Yeah, exactly. Magic Castle's in LA. It's like a magician, but it's really cool. But it's all these magicians, and it's where you go to train to be a magician. It's where Penn and Teller came from. It's where I don't know.
Doesn't seem cool. It seems very nerdy.
I mean,
so this might answer some of your questions. As Frank Burgos of Philly Voice noted in 2017, Holmes was not just a serial killer, but a serial liar eager to encrust his story with legend and lore.
oh no.
While awaiting execution, Holmes penned an autobiography from prison filled with falsehoods, including declarations of innocence and exaggerations. So which is it? Newspapers operating at the height of yellow journalism latched onto these claims, embellishing Holmes' story and setting the stage for decades.
I can answer the question, Kevin, because I know what you're about to ask.
What am I going to ask?
You're going to ask what is yellow journalism?
Yes.
Yes, it's lying. It's basically it's like telling a narrative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
That isn't true. Just to sell papers. Sensationalism.
God,
Sensationalism,
I gotta tell you, they traded spaces again. Kevin plunged into the stupidest guy on the podcast.
You knew what yellow journalism was?
Yeah. I have an education. It wasn't a good one, and I still know what yellow journalism was.
You kind of look yellow. Your face looks yellow.
Yours is white.
I think you have jaundice.
Me.
I don't think you can call Pasadena Community College a real education.
Boy, you just insulted a lot of people.
I did. And to be fair, I got kicked out of college, so send me your hate mail. Whatever. I do have to pee. Can we take a break?
I don't want to. Born Herman Webster Mudgett in May 1861, the future Henry Howard Holmes, a name chosen in honor. He's going to go pee anyway.
Yeah, go for it, John. You'll be fine.
I really have.
Kevin and I are just going to keep talking. You're not going to miss anything.
I don't think we should stop for bathroom breaks anymore. Like, who cares? Like, whatever.
He's not
like,
gonna,
what are you going to say that's that interesting? You know,
he never adds anything insightful anyway. He just looks for ways to insert making fun of you
and you
and me.
Also to talk about books he's read.
When he
Which,
comes
by the way,
back
did I tell you I read The Devil in the White City?
Yeah, I heard you did.
Oh, you did. Okay,
great. Good job. I think
that's going to be the title of this episode. Kevin read a book.
When he comes back, let's just tell him we wrapped it up. Okay, so he was born in May 1861, and let's see, born Herman Webster Mudgett in May 1861. The future Henry Howard Holmes, a name chosen in honor of Detective Sherlock Holmes, I know, grew up into a wealthy New England family. Verifiable information on his childhood is sparse, but records suggest that he married his first wife, Clara Lovering, at 17 years old and enrolled in medical school soon thereafter. Holmes' proclivity for criminal activity became readily apparent during his college years. He robbed graves and morgues, stealing cadavers to sell to other medical schools or using complicated life insurance scams. After graduating from the University of Michigan in 1880...
All right, well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
That was a great show.
Perfect for me, man. I got a pack.
Let me continue, Kevin. God
Okay.
damn it. After graduating
You
from the
said
university...
we wanted to do that. That was just your idea.
I know, but you didn't do it very well.
Oh.
He graduated from the University of Michigan in 1884. He worked...
Thanks, not paying attention.
Hi. He worked various odd jobs before abandoning his wife and young son to start anew in Chicago. Now he was operating under the name of H. Holmes. The con artist wed his second woman, Myrta Belknap, and purchased...
So was he still married to the other one?
Yes, he never divorced her.
That's why I just want to make sure you didn't skip anything.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's not very
I'm
Christian
sorry,
of him.
I missed some
He's a
stuff.
bigamist.
Did he move to Chicago to have a hot dog cart?
He did. Worked out well, but instead of hot dogs, it was penises from the bodies he killed.
Cool. 200.
That
was
was
a problem.
cool, actually. So he purchased a pharmacy in the city of Inglewood, in the city's Inglewood district. Apparently, if you're a murderer, you got money and you could purchase things. He actually had these scams where he would have people buy life insurance policies, and then he would find bodies, I'm assuming from former victims of other people, and claim that they were the person that was insured, and try and cash out the money and get the money. It didn't work when he tried to tell everyone that he was dead or claim that he himself had died. So they caught on to that. So he had another guy do it, and that worked out okay. And he got like $10,000. And then it worked out so well that H. Holmes actually killed that fucking guy for life insurance. He doubled down on that thing. And that was the murder that he was convicted of and was subsequently executed for.
That's the one of all the murders,
Of
all
all
the
the
tortures.
murders, it was another
That's the
degenerate guy. Yeah, that was,
You do
that
not
was
fuck
one.
with insurance companies.
You don't. They'll get you every time.
They will.
That is,
So across the street from the pharmacy,
isn't that Progressive's slogan? Do not fuck with insurance companies.
Isn't that what the Gecko says?
Yep.
Okay.
15 minutes could save you 15%. We'll fucking kill you.
Don't fuck with us. Across the street, he constructed the 3-story building that would later factor so prominently in tales of his atrocities. Work concluded in time for the May 1893 opening of the World's Columbian Exposition, or the World Fair, a supposed celebration of human ingenuity with distinct colonialist undertones. The fair drew more than 27 million visitors over its 6-month run, and H. Holmes killed every one of them.
So
This is really good investigative journalism.
So
you're
that had
doing
to
here.
be like more than
Yellow
half of
journalism.
America, right? At that time.
I don't know. When you factor in inflation, I don't know. Probably.
Is that
It's probably like-
what
it's like
about
only-
what about repeat customers? Does that include repeat? Is that all
Oh, that's a good point.
just
It's only like 12 million Canadians, 27 Americans.
I'm really
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Canada was a country then?
Canadian?
Canada?
Okay.
Canada was a country then? I didn't know
To
that.
furnish his enormous castle, Holmes bought items on credit and hid them whenever creditors came calling. On one occasion, workers from a local furniture company arrived to repossess its property, only to find the building empty. They couldn't even take it back. The castle had swallowed the furniture, as later it would swallow human beings, wrote John Bartlow Martin for Harper's Magazine in 1943.
You should have said you wrote that. No one would have known.
No, my real name is John Barlow Martin.
Okay.
So, a janitor bribed by the company eventually revealed that Holmes had moved all of the furnishings into a single room, and they walled it up to avoid detection. So they were like big on locking shit up. So Holmes is described as debonair and charismatic. Nevertheless, elicited lingering unease among many he encountered. So he's kind of a creep. Still, his charm was substantial, enabling him to pull off financial schemes and, for a time, get away with murder. So, almost without exception, his victims appeared to have two things in common: beauty and money.
Wouldn't it be 3? Also murder? Being murdered would be a thing that they all have in common.
Being murdered?
Being murdered.
I guess that is the common denominator.
Right. I mean, that would be common. Yeah.
100% of his victims all got murdered.
So the guy married for the third time to someone named Georgiana Yoke.
Did he divorce the other two or no?
No, he
God
didn't.
damn it!
ever
This is
fucking
not Christian.
No, but he did pretty much kill. Well, I'll get it in a second. But he killed his first wife. As C.E. Davis, as his employee C.E. Davis later recalled, Holmes used to tell me he had a lawyer paid to keep him out of trouble, but it always seemed to me that it was the courteous, audacious rascality of the fellow that pulled him through. He was the only man in the United States that could do what he did. So C.E. Davis was some kind of genius.
Dude, we got to bring back rascality.
I was thinking
That's
the same thing.
Great fucking word.
Yes.
Great word.
Kevin
John,
has-
get that on a t-shirt.
You little rascal.
You rascal, you.
Get it? What I did there.
I did get it.
Holmes' probable first victims were Julia Connor, the wife of a man who worked in his drugstore, and her daughter Pearl, who were last seen alive just before Christmas in 1891. Around that time, according to Larson's Devil in the White City, Holmes paid a local man to remove the skin from the corpse of an unusually tall woman. And Julia stood nearly 6 feet tall.
So this other man was just like,
And then they
okay.
he took her skeleton and made it into a skeleton to sell to a medical school. That was not very nice.
So was that like a career back then? So what do you do? I remove skin, not muscle.
like,
Yeah.
I got a
Well,
skin guy.
if you want to get to the skeleton and sell to a medical school, you got to do somehow.
That's crazy.
So they didn't ask, like, where'd you get this dead body?
Which should be the
It's like-
first question.
That would be the first thing I would ask.
Yeah.
How did you come across this particular dead body?
Was it alive when you first met the body?
Was it alive today at all?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, other moments in Devil in the White City, like a visit by Holmes and two of his later victims, sisters Minnie and Anna Williams, to Chicago's meatpacking district, are similarly speculative. Watching the slaughter, writes Larson, Holmes was unmoved. Minnie and Anna were horrified, but also strangely thrilled by the efficiency of the carnage. Book's endnotes, however, acknowledge that no record of such a trip exists. Instead, the author says it seems likely that Holmes would have brought Minnie and Nanny there. So they don't really know about some of the shit because there were so many fucking lies.
From Holmes.
From Holmes, yeah.
Is HH related to John Holmes at all?
Both had huge cocks.
God. Too soon, man.
That's why they called him 12-incher, not because of his hot dog cart, because of his huge dick.
This huge dong.
So, on that note, Holmes' crime spree came to an end.
But I just want to say, Greg, that was us, not you.
It was.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Definitely us.
And as a
Definitely
matter
us.
of fact, I'm kind of disgusted by it. So,
All right.
good job.
Thanks.
Holmes' crime spree came to an end in November of 1894 when he was arrested in Boston on suspicion of fraud. They always get you for fraud. Authorities initially thought he was simply a prolific and gifted swindler. Of
General
course they
swindler.
did. But they soon uncovered evidence linking Holmes to the murder of a longtime business associate, Benjamin Pitteasel, in Philadelphia. That was the guy that they had the stupid shit
the
with
insurance
the
scam.
Yeah, insurance scam. Thank you. Chillingly, investigators realized that Holmes had also targeted 3 of Pitzel's children, keeping them just out of reach of their mother in what essentially was a game of cat and mouse. On a number of occasions, Holmes actually stashed the 2 in separate lodgings located just a few streets away from each other. It was a games for Holmes, writes Larson in the book that Kevin read. He possessed them all and reveled in his possession.
Okay, wait.
July-
So you
I
said
did
his,
read the book.
so his first murder, according to that book, Devil in the White City, was in 1891, and he got arrested in 1894. So to kill 200 people, and I know he didn't say that, but for people speculate he killed 200 people over 3 years. That's, I mean, I've never killed anyone, but I have like watched people skin animals and stuff. Like that's hard work, right?
I don't think you have to skin every person you kill.
Well, but
Yeah,
I mean,
he had like a big oven in the.
he had like a torture chamber, right? So he's like that's a lot of like to go out find the person. I really doubt that he could do 200 in 3 years.
Yeah,
That sounds like a challenge, Sean.
that's a terrible
But didn't
one.
I mean he could have started
5 days.
he could have started that killing before that, right?
Well, it was saying,
Yeah,
but you said in your article, you said
there's a lot of kind of conflicting information. So I don't know if he got it up to 200, but it seems like he did quite a bit. As a matter of fact, in July of 1895, Philadelphia police detective Frank Gear found the bodies of 2 of the girls buried beneath a cellar in Toronto. Those 2 girls being of the murdered man, his former accomplice guy. Given the absence of visible injuries, a coroner theorized that Holmes had locked the girls in an unusually large trunk and filled it with gas from a lamp valve. Authorities later unearthed the charred remains of a 3rd Pitzel sibling at an Indianapolis cottage once rented by Holmes.
Jeez, he was all over the place.
So wait,
That's,
but here's the thing, right? And I'm being like, how did they know that it was a sibling? Because they didn't have forensics and stuff back then. And they didn't do dental records.
They did have dental records.
In 1891, they had dental records?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, shit. Okay. Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Now you're the stupid one, John.
I just assumed they discovered that in the 80s. And so
The 1980s?
yeah.
No, that's when they perfected it.
Mhm. That's just when
That's when
TV
they
shows
started-
came out about it.
That's when they started putting those aprons on you at the dentist's office when they were going to x-ray you, so that way Kevin's balls wouldn't shrivel up so he could continue to have orgasms.
I can still have orgasms even without them.
You just can't ejaculate.
Nope.
A Philadelphia grand jury found Holmes guilty of Benjamin's murder on September 12th, 1895. Just under 8 months later, he was executed in front of a crowd at the city's prison. At the killer's request, he was reportedly concerned about grave robbers. He was buried 10 feet below ground in a cement-filled pine coffin.
And they honored that request.
Well, seems like they did. He should have said,
like today they'd
hey,
be like, no, fuck off.
he should have said, don't execute me. Because apparently they were going to just do whatever
They're
they
gonna-
had.
Wait. Here's a better idea. Let me go. I promise.
I have one last request.
Hear me out.
I'll stop. I'll stop killing people.
I'll be a very good boy from here on out.
You're literally killing someone right now.
You're stabbing one of the guards as we speak.
Bailiff.
Oh, this guy?
That's just muscle memory.
He's not a guard.
He's not a guard anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, you like this guy?
I just assumed we all disliked him.
He always takes too long to smoke breaks. This guy, I'm doing you a favor. All right, if you got to kill me, put me in 10 feet under a concrete box. Go ahead.
That's choice B.
I guess just a recap. A, don't kill me. B,
Just circle back around.
because I don't think you understand.
B, I'm concerned about being exhumed. The larger-than-life sense of mystery surrounding Holmes persisted long after his execution. As a matter of fact, we're doing a podcast about it right now, so it's still going on. Despite strong
I bet we're the
evidence,
first podcast to do this, though.
Yeah.
well, we're definitely the worst.
That's you don't know that. You don't know that.
I tend to agree.
Despite strong evidence to the contrary, rumors of his survivor circulated until 2017. I don't think that's like how long he survived. I think that's how long that rumor survived. When, at the request of his descendants, archaeologists exhumed the remains buried in the grave and confirmed their identity through dental records, as newsworks reported at the time. So he fucking asked you not to fucking dig him out. And what are you gonna do?
So wait, was he in a concrete box? Did they honor that part?
Yeah, they did.
No, that's cool. All right.
So it wasn't easy.
I'm starting to think that if they had let him go, they wouldn't have really let him go either. You know?
No, that's true.
Like if they had let him go, they'd have been like, yeah, sure, run away. Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was gunfire.
Well,
That was gunfire, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's a podcast.
Well, that's how guns.
I did the gun. I did the trigger motion there. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what a gun is. I have no idea.
But that's how they sounded in the 19th century. Pop, pop, pop.
Pop, 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 pop.
so Holmes, for his part, described himself in his memoir as but a very ordinary man, even below the average in physical strength and mental ability. So he really would have fit well in this podcast.
I'm a piece of shit.
And I'm not very smart, and I can't bench press more than 85 pounds.
Here's the difference between us.
Murder.
It's so important for Kevin to get into the note this. Okay, go ahead, Kevin. What is it?
Murder. It's murder.
Oh, murder.
He's he's a little more stabby than us, and a little
He's
more
a little more stabby. Yeah. And I can't pull off that mustache.
You could with a hat.
Thank
You'd
you.
have to have that hat on.
I'd have to have the bowler.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the story of H. Holmes. I had a couple of H's, but it
He
didn't matter.
gained a couple of H's there, yeah, at the end.
It's fine. It's fine. He this is the part where we sometimes will do a last call and pour one out for the guy. But he was a piece of shit. He fucking invented this house of horrors and created untold amounts of torture and horrendous amounts of grief and agony and torment on unsuspecting poor innocent people that just, I mean, who doesn't want to go to a World's Fair and ride a fucking merry-go-round or whatever the hell goes on there? And he lures them away by promising them a nice, safe hotel to sleep in, only to have you play Chutes and Ladders and you lose.
And
so fuck you,
Murder.
HH.
I'll say that. Let's do last call. I'll cheers. We'll toast to reading. We all need to read more. We need to read more books. You know, I'm a reader. Clearly, we established that on this podcast.
Reading
on this
Rainbow.
You know that was a book on tape, right?
Reading Rainbow.
Oh, because I read it, so I don't know if I got the gist of it.
Yeah, you probably missed out on a lot. You sure Sheena
They
didn't
still
read
make
it to you?
tapes.
Well, they call it books on tapes or audio books, but Greg calls
I
them
think they
books
call
on
them
tapes.
audiobooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've heard books on tape in quite some time, Grandpa.
By the way, before we end this fucking show, and Kevin always likes to make fun of me because I say smoking pot. I was watching a TV show and there were young kids, 16, 17 years old, and they were referring to it as smoking pot.
Were you watching a show from the 1970s?
It wasn't a scripted show. It was All in the Family. No,
It was one of the original Law and Orders. All right.
Dun-dun.
Dun-dun. Someone was smoking
We
pot
go
here.
smoke some pot.
So that's the story of the first serial killer. Purportedly, I'm willing to bet there were a lot of serial
Yeah,
killers
I
before
feel
that
like-
motherfucker.
Right,
Yeah.
because wasn't there the first serial killer in America, right? Because wasn't Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
a serial killer?
Jack the Ripper, right? Exactly. But I mean, this HH guy is all over the fucking place, being noted as the first serial killer. So I just went with it. I don't believe anything I read today. Unlike Kevin, he's so proud of himself.
It's fake news. Fake news.
Everything I read 15 minutes before we started recording, I don't believe.
Everything I read as we were recording in real time, as I learned as you, the audience. Okay.
That's on the nose.
Okay. So, Greg, congrats on being a grandpa. John, enjoy your 85-day road trip you're about to go on.
Something like that.
And we're somehow still going to do this podcast.
We're gonna give it a shot.
All right.
We're gonna try. I'm bringing stuff with me to do it, and so we'll have to do a test every time I get
What
to a
kind of
place.
stuff?
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be
It'll
fine.
I want you to go to the public library in the cities you visit and just use their fucking Wi-Fi and just I want you to use a
Or
microphone.
some really quiet coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I just have the
Just
headset on.
screaming things about masturbation and balls.
Penis.
They're like, "Oh, do you work with Greg Mitchell?
Can I get a vanilla
Like, oh,
latte?
he's on that disgusting podcast.
Can we end this fucking show already?"
Yeah.